Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Two ways. What was a better ending, and which fan base is more beaten up this morning, the Philly fan base or the Laker fan base? After what happened in Denver, the Lakers blow a 20-point lead, and the Sixers were up 8 with, or 7, 8 with
5 with 30 seconds to go.
5 with 30 seconds to go, and the Knicks scored 8 points in 27 seconds. Which fan base is more just beat up?
Philadelphia.
You think so? Because they think
Especially
they're better?
that's 2 games in the clutch that they lost in New York. The Lakers, they lost that 12-point lead in game 1, but then the Nuggets flipped the script, and the Nuggets had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter as opposed to a 5-point lead for Philadelphia last night, and then also not being able to excel, in a 1 or 2 possession game in game 1 for Philadelphia.
So here's went down in Philly, and I'll try to recap it for you the best I can. But Jalen Brunson hits who wasn't playing well, hits a 3 out of the corner. A 3 that hit the front of the rim was short. I mean, it's an insane bounce, right? And it goes in, and they're down by 2. I mean, Kyle Lowry, and this is where it gets so wonky to me, JJ. Kyle Lowry's a veteran and a champion, and he inbounds the ball. First of all, and I'm gonna side with Charles Barkley on this, because as I'm watching it live, as you're having a problem getting the ball in bounds, timeout and advance it up the floor, right? I mean, get it away from underneath your own basket, timeout, and advance it up the floor. Nick Nurse, the coach of the Sixers, is claiming he's calling timeout as Lowry's having a problem getting the ball in. Now, JJ, one of the most coached things, but the most under-executed things in basketball is players can run the baseline after a made basket, right? And he moved, but he didn't run the baseline and get a guy open. He throws the ball into Tyrese Maxey. Maxey gets double-teamed, probably did get fouled. The ball turns over. They get it to Dante DiVincenzo. He misses a 3, but Isaiah Hartenstein gets the rebound, gets it to DiVincenzo for another 3, splash, dagger. Then Maxey goes down the floor, and Hartenstein blocks a shot, ball game, and an insane comeback victory. And so give it to the Knicks for making plays. You give it to defensively, give it to the offensive rebound, and DiVincenzo for hitting the shot. But how on earth does Philly not call a timeout amidst all that chaos there? And now Nick Nurse says he tried.
So, to your point, no one was confident in what they were doing. Nick Nurse made a half-hearted timeout call. Like, there's video. He just did one of those ones.
Nice.
But if you're trying to get a timeout in a hectic situation where the referees can't hear or see you, you need to jump out on the court. You need to run down the sidelines, whoever that ref is. Like, every
It was right in front of you. It was all right there.
Like, knows that. Like, if you just make the hand signal when Madison Square Garden is blowing up, your team is trying to get that quick inbound, like, no one's going to acknowledge it. And that's what happened in that situation. And then also, no, it's everyone's screaming about call the timeout before, but what you said, it's the little thing. It's you have your veteran player, Kyle Lowry, on the baseline who can run the baseline in that moment. You're trying to get it in, quickly get going, and then if it's not there, call the timeout. Nothing was executed well by the Philadelphia 76ers in crunch time. And guess what? The person that they blamed for everything's not there anymore. And that was Doc Rivers. So who are you pointing at fingers now? Well, is it Joel Embiid, and the excuse is he's always going to be hurt? Like, you had opportunities to win both games in New York, and you failed.
Joel Embiid is hurt and limping up and down the court to the tune of 34 points and 10 rebounds. He played 39 minutes last night on that knee, and he was really damn good. And Maxey was good up until the end. You've got to stay on your feet. Again, he caught the ball in traffic, and you can see him as he's going down trying to call timeout. But he had 35 points and 10 rebounds. You can't turn the ball over. I can point at 4 dudes and say, what are you doing for Philadelphia? And again, I go back to this so often, and I know it's overused, but I believe it. You learn how to win big games and big moments. You just don't walk into the playoffs and win. Not that the Knicks have ever won anything, but the Sixers sure as hell have not, as currently composed.
Been in those moments a lot.
They've been in them,
and
but they've
the Knicks
not.
are the ones that look composed.
Right? And give it to Tibbs because, and you know, the coaches that get the credit because only the losing coach gets the blame, the winning coach never gets the credit. And I don't know if it's his credit because their team was composed. All I know is his dudes made plays, and the Sixers looked like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. I got a veteran guard. Kyle Lowry is 36 years old and won a championship, right? He's an NBA champion in Toronto.
Yep.
I got him
Nick Nurse.
with Nick Nurse. So I got an NBA championship coach. And again, so take me to the beginning of this, okay? What was there, about 9, 12, whatever it was? Why not call timeout immediately as it goes through and advance the ball? Let's just start with that one. If you say I want to stay in the flow, why not timeout? Is it because it gives them a chance to set up and foul? Is that what it is?
Yes, but most coaches will take when it's a made basket, they'll take their chance. All right, let's set up. Let's be on the same page, as opposed to continuing to run a play off a miss like we saw the Nuggets do.
All right, so timeout. Okay, so now say, all right, I want to stay in the flow. All right, fine. You're having a problem inbounding the ball. Call a timeout. You get to advance the ball not even half court, to the front court, to that hash mark. So you're not under your basket. They don't get an instant off. I think, JJ, you're right. I mean, which fan base has to feel more sick? The Lakers or fan base or Philadelphia's? And both of them have to be nauseous this morning. But it's got to be Philly because I think down deep, Laker fan knows, damn, the Nuggets probably are better. Even though if you're them, have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, although
they had
watching
double-digit leads in Denver in both games.
I know, dude.
The Lakers.
No, I'm not telling you they're not sick.
Yeah,
the answer is which one's more?
Philadelphia, because it's with Los Angeles, you can take a step back and go, all right, AD's matching Jokic. He has matched him this series. Yeah. LeBron in the second half was a thing yesterday. I think there's a lot more to pull, even with 10 losses in a row for the Lakers versus the Nuggets, because Philadelphia, everything you just laid out, late game execution, Joel Embiid playing really good basketball despite having a bum knee. If you're Philadelphia, it's like, what else can you do? Because New York made every play, including Hartenstein's block on Maxey late.
How big was
down
that?
The lane. And credit to Tibbs, because he's a guy that you kind of got a bad rap. Especially when you go back to Chicago, and a lot of people blame him for Derrick Rose and his injury and overplaying Derrick Rose and grinding him down. I kind of know what happened in Minnesota, but that was kind of early. Jimmy Butler wasn't this same guy, because you remember Jimmy Butler started in Chicago.
That's right.
And went to Minnesota and went to Philadelphia, and he was kind of grinding in a lot of different places too. So he's a part of that before settling in Miami. And then Tibbs gets to New York, and now you match him with someone that has his same attitude, and that's Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a dude that's going to grind, that's going to go 150 miles per hour on everything he does, and it has meshed really well.
Yeah. All right. So much this morning, you guys. Let's go. I want your thoughts. What was a better ending? I mean, is it your perspective? What was a worse ending? Was it? Were they comebacks or collapses? Yes. Which one was more insane? Oh, by the way, Cleveland beat Orlando last night, 96-86, to take a 2-game lead in that series as well. That also happened.
Good job. Good effort, Magic. Thanks for coming. I don't even know what they're learning right now.
I don't either. But you had 2 unbelievable endings. Want your thoughts. When we come back, we will get into the other big stories as well. Lobo basketball. JT Toppin, will he be back? Does he go to the NBA? It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. That's the Sports Animals phone line and text line. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make him happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Until you stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love. And no
610. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us this morning. Opening drive on the Sports Animal. Lakers had a 20-point lead in the second half last night. Nuggets stormed back. Jamal Murray hits a fadeaway baseline jumper over Anthony Davis, falls into the bench, as did Davis at the buzzer. Splash. Nuggets are up 2-0 over L.A., going back to California. 101-99 was the number there. And then a frantic ending last night in New York at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks scored 8 points in the last 27 seconds to snatch victories from the jaws of defeat. They beat the Sixers 104-101. That game goes back to Pennsylvania with the Knicks up 2-0. And, of course, Cleveland in the big one last night, JJ, beat Orlando 96-86. All right, if you want to get in on that, 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animal text line. It is also our phone line. You can email me, Jeff, at sportsanimalabq.com, or hit JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We're back up on the visuals. Adrian's got us going on Facebook, the OD and the AM, Comcast Channel 26 around the state of New Mexico, and, of course, on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. All right, JJ, I think Global Fan kind of freaked a little bit. It was like one of those one of those moments when they saw yesterday that JT Toppin, the freshman of the year in the Mountain West Conference, is going to declare for the NBA draft. And they're like, oh, no. And I think the answer is relax. This has happened before. Vance Jackson did it. Jalen House did it. Many, many players have this option. They go through the process. They assess. They get they don't assess. They get assessed where they might go in the draft. And he has until May 29th to either stay in the draft or come back to college. As of now, he's not in the portal, right? So if he comes back to college, it looks like it will be. And again, today is the 23rd, so we got another week till May 1st to figure out where he's going to go. But this is not, I don't think, incredibly surprising. Maybe a little bit to some. I don't know that it's insanely alarming. I'm going to guess he's back. There's a chance he goes to the NBA, but I'm going to guess he's back. But this isn't one of those things that I think right now you lose your mind about.
Here, I'm going to be a little bit of the messaging is bad on this.
Okay.
I don't like how all these players announce they're declaring for the draft, but then say they're maintaining their eligibility. I think if you're like, just do it. And then if you decide to go to the stay in, then put your social media post out there, because this stuff is confusing and it doesn't make sense to a lot of fans. So when you're a player that says, I'm declaring for the NBA draft, but I'm keeping my eligibility open, like, what's the point? Like, everyone should do this, even if you're not a player of the year. Like, if you're a fringe basketball player, heck, go out there and see if NBA teams want to talk to you. Just go do it. I do not like the messaging of it. I know it's what the kids these days do. I feel like an old man right now. Like, if you're announcing your intention to declare for the NBA draft, then do it if you're not coming back. Don't do it in a post like this, because it doesn't mean anything, and I don't think it's as impactful. I think it would be more impactful if you're saying this and not coming back, and then everyone can support you on your journey. But to have these posts where, like, I'm declaring for the draft, but I'm coming back. No, just go get the information. And then if you stay in after May 29th, do all that stuff. Because I think this is very confusing to a lot of fans, and it doesn't make sense to me that you have to tell the world you want to go talk to NBA teams.
So are you saying don't let anybody know that you're
well, just do it, but you'd say, yeah, I'm just going through the process to get information, not declaring for the draft.
Well, I think you are an old man right now.
This is one where I get, because if fans see that,
yeah,
and then all you get is, well, JT Toppin's not ready. He needs just say, hey, I'm going to go.
But it's going to come out anyway, right?
But just do that. Just post, say, hey, I'm going to go through the process, talk to people and see what happens. And then if you stay in, then do your awesome big time social media post, great Photoshop that you're declaring for the draft.
Yeah, I'm going to, this one doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you. I think the onus has got to become on the fans to understand it at this point. This isn't new. This has been going on for 4 or 5 years now, right? I mean, when did this process start? When did they change the rules where you can declare for the draft, you can go through this process? It's been 4, 5, 6 years, right?
Yeah. Like, I like the process. I think that it's one that should even be even more open for players, being able to maintain eligibility even past, say, the NBA draft, because it's one, there's 60 selections, and there's going to be 300 or 400 of these dudes that declare for the draft. And if you want to turn pro, you can turn pro, go play wherever you want. this is more of a, I like the process. I think the messaging is murky for a lot of people.
I guess I'm going to lean on at some point the fans are going to have to understand this. It doesn't bother. I agree with you for the most part. Like theoretically, I don't need to see a post every time you do something, but that's the world today, right? You look, here I am at this school and this school and this school, and then I declare, but I'm back and I got it. I don't need it, but that's obviously the kids do. And like Richard Pitino tells us all the time, I mean, they can't stay off the social media. This is their world, and that's their thing, and that is.
And that's one thing. I do have to take a step back and realize how important it is, for these student athletes, because they love to be out there. It's important to them, the reaction that they get, from the fans, from their peers. It's really important. But I think what you said is the main thing. It's just understanding that the message doesn't mean he's 100% leaving. It doesn't mean he's losing his eligibility these days when you say you're declaring for the draft.
Yeah. So that's where we are with that. And again, JJ, I'd be surprised. I don't know that anything would stun me. So if he comes back, let's just say in, 3.5 weeks, and it's the middle of May, and says, yeah, I'm going to the draft, would that surprise you? It would certainly put a wrench in what you think the Lobos look like next year. I'd be a little surprised, but nothing will stun me when it comes to this kind of a thing. Is he draft ready? JJ, I remember the Tony Snell conversation. And you were convinced, it's on potential, and you were right. I was wrong. I'm like, I think he needs another year. He's not ready, but dude went to the NBA and had a hell of a career.
And this is with the draft: is these dudes aren't going to be finished products. Some guys, that come out 4 years are going to play that. Hey, I've developed, I'm stronger role. There's other young guys that teams love to. It's not draft and stash. Get them young, and then see what happens over the next couple years. And it's not one where there's a specific path you look at. Because to your point, Tony Snell, that people were all over the place with that one. He's not ready. He needs to come back. But then an NBA team's like, well, he has the foundation we want, and we want him now.
Yeah. Other Lobo-related stuff, and we told you this yesterday morning, Jamal Mashburn Jr. committed to Temple yesterday, and he did put out the post yesterday. Adam Fisher is the new coach there, and Mash has a relationship, as does the family, with Adam Fisher, and so he's going back east. I got a text, a buddy of mine who's an Aztec, and said, is Temple a better gig than the Lobos? They have more cash. And I don't know what the NIL deal is, and actually I don't think Jamal's really it was all about the NIL for this particular student athlete. I think Jamal needed a fresh start. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Lobo fan ran him off. Okay, I don't know that that's right, but I do kind of in this situation feel that Jamal heard it and probably wanted a fresh start somewhere else. He's got 1 year left, and kind of, I don't know. Do you feel Jamal Mashburn Jr. felt that his welcome was worn out? That because I told you this. Somebody, a Lobo fan, a diehard over the weekend, told me, yeah, I mean Mash would have been nice, but whatever, we're fine. We're better off without him. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, dude is going to have a year now. He was injured. I just you forgot what Jamal Mashburn was for the first 2 years when he was here.
The flow of one can be hard to ignore. And,
yeah, but I don't think it's one, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you just see one thing pop up, and the one thing, if you see Jamal Mashburn, he has nothing on social media, but that doesn't mean he's not looking at social media. And that's your
right.
challenge. And it's easy to say, it's harder to do, because when you think about all of us right now, what have I been doing? I've been perusing my phone too throughout the show, just on Twitter. What you are doing at work when you go to the bathroom and you waste 20 minutes and you're probably on your phone. Like, as much as people want to look at these young kids and say, get off the phone, it's so hard. It's so a part of our life, and it's pulling up social media. It's pulling up Instagram. It's pulling up Twitter. And so that flow of one becomes a flow of 10, 15, 20 in your mentions. And even for someone that is as composed as Jamal Mashburn was, like, he is as pro style as you're going to get, it can get in your head, man.
Well, it got noisy. It did. And I remember I told you I had that conversation with him in Vegas because I said this to Lobo fan, I think, before the conference tournament when it was getting noisy. I said, I'm never going to tell you how to be a fan, but I would suggest, and I'll make suggestions, that for Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn, for all the flack that they get, you shake those young men's hands if you have an opportunity and thank them for bringing Lobo back to relevancy, Lobo basketball back to relevancy. And I did that. It was enjoyable the last 3 years covering Lobo basketball again, where it wasn't for a minute, right? And I did shake his hand, and I did look him in the eye, and I did say, hey, thank you for bringing this thing back, and you were part of it. And JJ, you could see he appreciated it, and we talked a little bit. I'm not going to tell you what we said, but we talked a little bit about the noise, and yeah, it got to him. And Richard Pitino said it got to him, right? He told us that. All right, 505-246-0610. You're ringing the phones. We want to hear what you have to say about Toppin testing the NBA waters, Jamal going to Temple. We got the NBA stuff. Oh, and JJ, when we get back, Broncos went out and solved their issue. They got them a quarterback. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. I'm going to go get me some coffee.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
The Sports Animal.
All right, then you went out and got a quarterback 3 days before the draft. How you feeling, Lobo fan, Nugget fan? Well, Nugget fan feels good. Nugget fan is probably Bronco fan, too. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Get back into the NBA coming up at 8 o'clock, and then Kenny Thomas is going to join us at 9. We'll kick it with Kenny. Boy, I want some thoughts from him about the way those two games ended in the National Basketball playoffs, the National Basketball Association playoffs last night. All right. There's a lot of talk, JJ. There's a draft. There's, Thursday? What day is today? Tuesday now?
Close the window. There's a draft.
Maybe, I think your team just closed the window yesterday. Zach Wilson is a Denver Bronco. Now, it didn't cost you a lot. It was a 6th-round pick. I'm not sure the whole concept. I guess the concept here is get him in a new set, get him closer to home, get him out of that New York fishbowl where it's gone so brutally wrong, and give this 24-year-old young man a new start, and let's see if there's anything there. I don't think they're saying this is the answer at quarterback by any news. The Broncos trade for Zach Wilson, the former BYU quarterback with the Jets now. And let's see what we got. It costs us nothing, and he'll be a backup quarterback.
For Sean Payton. So you went over your skis for Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
Wanted to start him, never did.
Yeah.
Got him at the end of the season. It didn't look good, but then you could say, well, the whole season was bad. Now, bring in Zach Wilson, and you're going to try to be this ultimate quarterback whisperer. And this is in case of emergency break class. This is if they are unable to make a move and get any quarterback that they like, it's Stidham and then the Zach Wilson project.
I look at it, and to your point, he loved him some Jarrett Stidham. And maybe Sean Payton could get some juice out of this orange. I don't know. There's a live arm there. It's an erratic arm. I guess it's a what do I have to lose kind of a thing. And if we see that guy who, I mean, this was the 2nd overall pick in a draft a couple of years ago. We're talking about a guy that people at one point were anywhere between fascinated over and drooling over, right?
Well, I also think that was a time where you're coming off COVID. There was not a lot of in-person stuff going on. The draft class was not good. And so he was one of those overvalued quarterbacks. And that's kind of what people are looking at when you get to the back half of this quarterback class. Are we pushing up guys just because? Because right now, 5 quarterbacks were selected in the first 15 picks in the 2021 NFL draft. 4 of those 5 quarterbacks have been traded for 6th-round picks.
Who are they?
Of course, just happened with Zach Wilson. Number 2 overall pick, Zach Wilson.
Yep.
The number 3 overall pick, Trey Lance. Traded to Dallas for 4th round.
Good God. So 2 and 3.
The number
Zach
11
Wilson.
overall pick, Justin Fields, was traded for a 6th-round pick. And Mac Jones, the 15th overall pick, was traded for a 6th-round pick.
Who was number 1 that year?
That was the Trevor Lawrence draft.
All right. So Trevor Lawrence is good. The rest of them were Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and who was the other one?
Mac Jones. And they're all gone.
Holy
They're not starting quarterbacks.
smokes. And that's, we talk about this all the time. Evaluate me 3 years later. And here we are 3 years later. And now we're staring at another draft where they're yelling at me that there's 5 guys at the top. Right?
There's 2. There's 2, and you keep your fingers crossed. You hit on one of the next 3.
I think Drake May's going to be okay. I really do. I know you don't. I do. And
if Drake May goes to New England, even if he sits, they are a long way away from being a competent.
Well, that's because they've got nothing else, right? It's not necessarily a Drake May thing. It's look what's around you. It feels like the Bryce Young thing to me. You got nothing else there. Now Drake May goes to the Raiders,
but development time's out the window.
I know it.
Even if there's nothing there, people are.
I know.
Carolina was sitting here at 2; they'd be taking a quarterback.
I'm not arguing with you on that. I just all right, Bronco fan, how you feel? You got a quarterback. When we come back, I want to hear the way it sounded because somebody just asked me, "Can you play us that call?" Yeah, we will. How the Nuggets beat the Lakers last night, what it means. It's the opening drive. Let's go. 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You went to bed, didn't catch the end of the Nuggets game. You saw they were down by 20. Figured, all right, LeBron, AD are playing great. D'Lo is going nuts, and that's it. And then the Nuggets come all the way back. Jamal Murray hits a fadeaway deep corner three over Anthony Davis at the buzzer to beat the Lakers. And then before that at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks scored 8 points in 27 seconds, came back and beat the Sixers. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, I know you want to talk about it. Let's go 505-246-0610. We go to the phones. Jeffrey wants to talk some hoops. Hello, Jeffrey. How you living?
Good morning. You know, I fail to recognize on a regular basis that I am talking to the three-time Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta.
Do you fail to recognize that? Sometimes
I fail to recognize that, and I fail to recognize that enough, and I need to understand that because the prompt right before you guys dropped in reminded me. So I always have to remember what a pleasure it is to talk to you guys in the morning.
Yeah, it means nothing.
It's like royalty.
Yeah, hardly.
It's like royalty. Anyway, so Toppin, hey, I think he'll come back, and I think he needs development, but it's a good way to make contact. But if by chance he gets the bag, chase it and go get it, man. You know, that's what it's about. I wanted to talk the Nuggets. I was with you guys in the third quarter. I was like, it doesn't. And I happened to just come back to see if they were getting crushed or if they had made a game with about 20 seconds left. And there wasn't a person that left that arena. And I think everybody there believed more than we did that they were going to come back, probably because they've done it before. And what an amazing play. But the saddest part of the entire night was the post-game press conference by LeBron, where he really just kind of started, you know, I'll just say it, blaming the replay officials and the rest. And then he got up and walked out of the conference. And I think the bigger story is like, look, dude, you blew a 20-point lead. And you guys were clearly outplaying them, and Anthony Davis was just crushing everybody, and you want to come to the press conference and blame it on the officiating and then get up and walk out of the press conference. I think that's a really bad look, and while they might come back and pull one out at home, I think they're done, and I think Denver is more than likely going to probably do a 4-1 on them, so we'll see. I just thought LeBron looked really petty last night.
Yeah, that's where he was. It was about and Jeffrey, thanks for the call. It was about the replay officials. And JJ, look, there may have been the one in the first half. I don't think he got fouled, but D'Angelo Russell got hit in the face, and I don't understand what was happening there. But dude, you blew a 20-point lead, and you're going to blame this on the replay officials? Well, with all due respect,
that can't be the focus of the LeBron postgame. Now, where is your anger going to go? You know, he's not going to throw Anthony Davis under the bus. He's not going to crush anyone because D'Angelo Russell responded in a huge way. It hit 7 3-point shots. That was a playoff career high for D'Lo. It's one where, all right, that's the angle he took to unleash his frustration. It's not a good angle. He's going to get blasted for it, and he knows that. And it's part of it for LeBron. But if you're the Lakers, where are you starting right now? Because you've played 2 good basketball games.
Yep.
And you've lost both games. Game 1, you're like, all right, they blitzed us at home. Let's get back to it. But you're up 20 in the third quarter. You're up 10 entering the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And LeBron made plays in the second half. And so
except for the wide open 3 that he had to maybe win the game.
After hitting daggers when it was an 83-81 game. He hit back-to-back threes, and just like that, it's an 8-point game again. And so if I'm the Lakers on that flight home, Darvin Ham and company, I'm just taking a step back going, man, like, what do we do right now?
I know. Post-game also, Anthony Davis was asked about the final sequence. He just said Jamal Murray made a shot, and he stood up, he dropped the mic, and walked off the stage. Boom. I mean, literally mic drop. Like, that was where he was, too. Tony, you want to talk about the Broncos and your new quarterback. How you living, Tony?
Hold on. Before I go any further, are you that Jeff Sembieta, the 3-time sportscaster of the year?
Totally different dude. No. He's the one with talent. I'm just me. Yeah.
Whoa, no way. I've been talking to that Jeff Sembieta all these years. Holy hell.
What's up, dude?
I feel honored, too. I really do. But you know what? Look at
Come on by. I'll show you my trophies one day. Yeah.
you gotta post a picture with you with the trophies. Yeah?
I'll get them all cleaned off and shiny. Yeah.
Look I'm trying so hard, so hard to be a glass half full guy. I really am. But God, man, my Broncos, I love you guys, but you guys are making it too hard. Yeah. Now, yes, Zach Wilson, he has talent. I mean, he was the 2nd overall pick, but so was Ryan Leaf. It's like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I spoke to a buddy of mine yesterday because my nephews, my sons, because the wife and I were driving back from El Paso yesterday, and I started getting all kinds of phone calls. What the hell? You guys are getting Zach Wilson? Whoa, my God, this and that. I'm like, what? And I started reading into it, and I was like, oh God. So. Look they're in those positions because they're the ones that got to make the decisions. They're the ones that gotta accept the consequences of those decisions. But us Bronco fans, we have to live with those decisions. And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try because I don't think they're gonna go after Bo Nix in the first round. No. But Bo Nix, if he's not taken in the first 10 picks, he'll be there in the second round. He should. They got to take that Jared Verse, that edge rusher. That's what they got to take because we have 0 pass rush. 0.
Right. You need a lot.
0. And that's hard. That's hard right there. But go Zach Wilson.
See, Tony.
Yay!
Yeah, you need a lot. And by the way, hide your mom's friends. Keep your if you live in Denver. Hide your mom's friends because here comes Zach Wilson. Goodness gracious! All right, I got this. I got to read this for you because this will lead you into what you want. JJ is from Richard. It says JJ's Nugs, JJ's Nugs, JJ's Nugs. Jeff, can you play the closing seconds of JJ's announcer wetting his pants at McNichols Arena as the Lakers blew a 20-point lead with that guy wearing the purple and gold? So this is what it sounded like on altitude on Nuggets radio as the Nuggets finish off their comeback.
Nuggets, 12 seconds remaining. They're not going to call timeout. 9 seconds remaining. Murray's got to go. Murray lets it fly. Yeah! Oh my God!
That was
been there, buddy. Been there.
But that was more fanboy than announcer. I mean, they didn't. I have no idea what happened. He didn't tell you where the ball. Gotta go. Silence.
That was a TV call.
Oh, that was a TV call. Okay. That was on altitude TV. All right, that's very different than the radio. Yeah.
It told you everything you needed to know.
Yeah. That's what they told me. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Because if you would have missed it, it would have been, oh, God.
Well, then you're going overtime, right? Well, you needed to hurry.
But,
yeah, why didn't we hurry?
Come on, what are you doing?
No, you got to get the ball up. You got to hurry. They should have called the timeout. That's what you'd heard, right? I mean, you got to go. You got to go. All right, 505-246-0610. Yeah, Kenny Thomas is going to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. Looking forward to having the conversation with him. Hobo, where in the world are you now? I don't know, man. Sometimes I really don't know where I am. And you want to vent? Well, I'll get to your snack cake vent a little bit later. All right, come on in. I want to hear your thoughts on both those games last night. I asked a question earlier. Bigger comeback, bigger collapse. The Knicks game, because that one was insane too, where they scored 7 or 8 points in the last 27 seconds to come back and win, or what we saw in Denver last night. Hey JJ, when we come back, we've got to get into this too. The NCAA formalized some rules that are going to affect college athletics in a way that, I don't know, probably most of our listeners, or at least many of them, are not going to like it, but it's the reality and what it means going forward. And I think it's pretty significant. Explain that to you. We got a sweet deal for you as well. Kenny will be with us at 9. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Sports Animal.
Well, you're familiar with the transfer portal. I think you're quite familiar with the transfer portal. Both football, basketball, and everything else in college athletics. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. I suggest, if you're going to remain a college sports fan, J.J., you get more and more familiar with the transfer portal after what the NCAA decided yesterday. No surprise here. The NCAA Division I board approved legislation yesterday which will allow instant eligibility for multi-time transfers. What does this mean in common English? Basically, as long as you stay academically eligible and up to speed, there is unlimited transfers. It was, initially it was you can transfer once, but you have to sit out a year. Then it was, well, you can get one free transfer and play immediately, and then a graduate transfer. And now it's basically 1-year deals, man. If you can transfer if you want 5 times.
I've been back and forth on this. We had some really great conversation on this last week when Cy Riley was in studio.
Yeah.
We were talking about a guy that just finished 4 years at the University of Mexico, which is crazy because that's not going to be the normal anymore. But he was a student athlete when this stuff was exploding, transfer portal, NIL. We had some really great conversations. I'm going to update the Cherry Rundown with some stuff from him here shortly, too, if you're looking for inside information from a student athlete that just got done in this era. Yeah. And we talked about it. I asked him that question you brought up. Do student athletes care as much as fans do? And, he said once you're locked in and you're playing, absolutely, because that's how you keep your opportunity. That's how you keep your scholarship, let alone get your NIL opportunities. But, this is one where it's going to be a rocky road for fans to wrap your head around. But also, to me, you take a step back and go, what's the point of limiting a student athlete anymore? Like, what did you get out of a redshirt year, or what did you get out of not allowing him to move around? Because when you look at it right now, building is going to be incredibly hard to do. But there's also so many more programs that are trying to clean house and this or that. And do you go back to, well, if you have a new coach, you can transfer immediately? Like, there's just so much to try to wrap your head around. And I waffle back and forth on this, but it's also like, what's the end game? And I don't even know what the end game is anymore.
So I would ask this, because I think those are all really valid points. Is it in the best interest of the student athlete to continue to move around, to jump? We're talking about, we're still calling them student athletes. We're still calling it college athletics. We're still basing it around institutions of higher education, correct? Is it best for, and look, I get it once, and I'll even listen to twice. although I struggle with that. Is it best for the student athlete to just keep moving? Now, maybe in some cases it is. But at some point in your life, you're going to have to commit to something. At some point in your life, you're going to have to go through a situation that is imperfect, uncomfortable, challenging. And at some point, you're going to have to learn how to fight through adversity, which is somewhat the point of athletics, right? I'm not looking to be old man. You got to be here 4 or 5 years. I'm not that guy. And I get it. I've actually gotten on board with the one-time transfer. JJ, I wonder, and we could have this conversation in 10 years when we're sitting here doing this show. Don't look at me like that. What does it do? And maybe the answer is nothing. Maybe it just grows fan bases. But a fan base like this one, does it deteriorate the fan base over time? Does it deteriorate the fan base of women's basketball? See, I look at Ole Miss, and I'm like, okay, Ole Miss isn't going to have that problem. You know why? Because they're going to keep bringing dudes in. Did you see? You saw Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt went to Ole Miss, right?
Yep.
Do you see who else they got in that running back room? Now, he must be getting some NIL money, but they just got a guy named Quinshawn Judkins via transfer to Ohio State and Miami. I'm sorry, Henry Parrish Jr. from Miami. So he goes into a running back room that they just got an LSU running back named Logan Diggs transferred in after rushing for 653 yards and 7 touchdowns last year. They got the guy from Miami. They got their second leading running back. They're like Bill may not even, he may be the number 3 or 4 dude there, but he got paid, I'm sure. Is it good for the student athlete? I don't know. I mean, he gets paid. Their fan base, I'm going to guess, will be still solid. I'm not worried about SEC. Like in the long term, does it deteriorate the fan base? Because you just don't know who you got every year, or if you win every year, you're going to be fine.
I think there's an element of wanting to know who these players are, but if you're successful enough, I do say kind of get over it. Because even if it's just for a year, if it's for 3 years, like that, when that student athlete is out there playing for your team, whether they're there because they got $75,000 or whatever number versus somewhere else,
750, yeah.
Like once they get to that point, they have to perform to stay. And we can sit here and say, you know, the student athletes, is it good for them? But you know what it does? Is it puts more pressure on them because coaches are going to be more willing to push you out the door than ever before. Coaches are going to be more willing to say, hey, scholarships are year to year. Yeah. And if you're not playing, you're not performing, plus the pressure from an NIL collective.
Yep.
If you're taking their 6-figure deal and they're not getting anything out of it, here we go.
I think that's the point that is lost on fans more than any of it, is this isn't always the student athlete opting to move. This isn't always, and I would argue 40 to 50 to 60% of the time, it is the coach suggesting or telling the student athlete, yeah, it's not going to work for you here, right? And we can go down the list. You can go over the guys who transferred out of the Lobo program. Like take Javonte Johnson, all right? Javonte sat on the bench at Colorado State this year. He was a 3-year starter for the Lobos, correct? Lobo basketball? He was a guy that, I mean, it was impossible not to like Javonte Johnson. Now, I don't know what the conversation was, and you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I don't think you do. Javonte transferred after last year. Lobo fan was like, okay, hey, thank you for your time. They all felt that they were going to upgrade. Maybe they did. But I firmly believe Javonte was told, hey, look, we're going to recruit over you. You're probably not going to be a starter next year. You might not even be part of the rotation next year. It might be best for you to go find another place. And I think that's where fans kind of forget that it isn't always a player just going, yeah, peace out, I'm going to go find me some NIL money, right? You think I'm wrong on Javonte?
No, and I think that was a clear conversation they've had, and coaches have those conversations, like playing time might not be there, so what do you want to do? And I think most people are comfortable with that when the bench players move on. If you've been somewhere a couple of years and the opportunity might not be there, and you want to play college athletics. You want your opportunity to get on the floor. When your starters are leaving, it's always going to hit harder. And this is going to be a challenging time, not just for athletics and coaches trying to figure out, is there any way to find sustainability in this market, but for fan bases. And you have to acknowledge that. You can't just poo-poo that thought and go, well, this is the way it is, deal with it. Yeah, there are some changes, but then it is, all right, how do you deal with it? And as a fan, can you yourself almost look at this and say, well, yes, I'm a diehard insert fan here, but it's almost even year to year with those rosters. Instead of going, man, can't wait till senior night. Well, that's not coming.
Yeah, whatever senior night is anymore. All right. Hey, we got a sweet deal for you today, and it goes on sale on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, right at 9 o'clock. You can click on the sweet deal icon on our homepage, sportsanimalabq.com, and you get, for $190, a booklet for 10 doggy daycares. That's a $380 value. It's tailored doggy daycare for small and large dogs. The benefits of doggy daycare are they got play spaces, nutritious meals, socialization. Canine Resorts is rated the #1 pet care franchise in the nation by IBPSA. They're recommended by vets and pets and groomers. So if you're looking for the best getaway for your pup, Canine Resorts Luxury Pet Hotel is the best daycare and boarding place in Albuquerque. They got the highest quality dog boarding and daycare services. They've been rated #1 pet care franchise in the nation by the International Boarding and Pet Care Services Association for 4 years in a row. It's cage-free, luxury boarding, and veterinarian recommended dog boarding with professionally trained and certified staff. The staff is trained to recognize the unique needs of different breeds to ensure that all pets are well cared for. They offer all-day doggy daycare for dogs who enjoy the company of other dogs. For those who prefer the company of humans over dogs, Canine Resorts offers one-on-one play, so it's great for you. Go check it out. It's modern, it's comfortable accommodations that make them feel at home, open indoor and outdoor areas for play with multiple opportunities throughout the day to relieve themselves outside, JJ. Big opportunities for doggy daycare. It is our sweet deal today, Canine Resorts Luxury Pet Hotel. Go and take a look at it. If this is something that you're interested in, you're thinking, I wonder what I'm going to do with my pup when I'm gone or whatever, $190 gets you a booklet for 10 doggy daycares. It's a $380 value, and it is our sweet deal today. And it goes live on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. It will be live at 9 o'clock this morning. 505-246-0610. Come on in. I want your thoughts on that. The NCAA, the NIL now can kind of go through the schools, but not really. I'll let you know what that all means. Kenny Thomas joins us at 9 o'clock. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report brought to you by Quality.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive lens exchange, the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Well, you reacted a little bit to the NCAA stuff that came down yesterday. The NCAA basically granting unlimited transfers for student athletes. And the other piece is, in addition to the eligibility decision, the NCAA Division I board passed new rules which will allow universities now to help athletes, JJ, find NIL deals. So in exchange, the athletes are required now to disclose any NIL deal that's more than $600. They have to disclose that to the schools. It's kind of the first step in the NCAA trying to create transparency for athletic departments regarding the players and their financial situations. And it appears like this will clear the way for universities to refer players to NIL collectives without penalties. I don't know that I recall anybody getting penalized for this. Theoretically, it was not the way it was supposed to go, but I think we all know that everybody was, the schools were working with the collectives. It's the first known infractions ruling involving NIL. I guess Miami faced punishment connecting a women's basketball player. Actually, both of them. It was the Cavendish sisters. Now that I think about it.
Back at Miami, by the way.
Yeah, are they back?
Yeah, they're both back.
I did not know that.
For another year. But this also goes back to last week when the state of Virginia said that the colleges in Virginia can directly pay the athletes now.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to go through like collective. It could come straight from the colleges.
So that's where that is. James said, you asked the softball question of the week, Jeff, so let me hit it out of the studio for you. Yes, how many unlimited mercenaries is going to impact programs? Well, I've already spoken with women's basketball fans who are going to fewer games next year. They used to have a senior night circled on their calendar. Now it's just another game. They were thinking about maybe not going to Vegas, but will likely be a pass or they were thinking about maybe going to Vegas, but it will likely be a pass as Bradbury once again breaks in an all-new roster. JJ, were there three players on your roster right now for women's basketball? 4? Right?
If you pick up dubs in Vegas, I don't care if there's sophomores or seniors on your team, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You're not selling out tickets. I'm not saying, and I acknowledge this. I understand fans' frustration, but you're not selling out arenas. You're not getting great crowds just because your senior night has 6 people there. It still comes down to performance. And you can say that it's affecting you. Yeah, it's a hard story, but even a diehard fan, like, who cares if you have 10 seniors in your roster on a senior night? Team won 1 game.
Well, I would argue with you in regards to Lobo men's basketball that UNM has benefited more from the transfer portal than they have been affected negatively. Right? Wouldn't you agree that the Mustafa Amzils and the Nelly Jr. Josephs and the Morris Udezes and the Jamal Mashburns and Jalen House coming in have had more of an impact than the guys leaving? And you can use some of the same names, right, now that we have multiple transfers. But like when Vance Jackson left and went, where did he go, to Arkansas, JJ? I mean, he wasn't great at Arkansas, was he?
No.
Give me the guy that transferred out in the last few years that has been just tremendous somewhere else. Elijah Brown went to Oregon. He was good. He went to the NCAA tournament. I don't know that he was a star. I mean, do you have that guy that just went somewhere and just went, oh, man. By the way, you see Abo went from Boise State to USC yesterday. He signed with USC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Must bus. Get him going in LA. This is one where I think to me, it's because there's the offseason, we look at the numbers and it's staggering, right? The number of players in the transfer portal, football, men's basketball, women's basketball. This year more so than ever for women's basketball fans because there's just so many things caught you off guard. That Nia Ogman retiring from basketball after the defensive player of the year in an all-conference season. Now Wilson leaving the team. So I think all those things in the moment make it feel worse. But to your point, when you look at the transfer portal when it comes to basketball, it's benefited the men's and women's programs so much more than it's hurt them.
Yeah. Now, you could have the argument about football if they benefited more or been hurt more. And I can listen to it where you say, man, we've got beat up pretty good. And I think that's going to be, I think that's going to be Mountain West programs for the most part, right? Especially as football separates more. The Power Four separate from the autonomous or from the Group of Five. I think not always. Nothing's going to be an absolute, but I think that's going to be more of an issue. But you've been a beneficiary now of guys coming in, right? And you got another guy yesterday, a transfer who came in from Miami, from West Virginia, had been in Miami, a linebacker named Tariq Austin Cave, who committed to UNM yesterday. You're going to get guys coming in. I don't know, JJ. I mean, is there a guy? I guess what's the young man that was freshman of the year 2 seasons ago that went to Houston and had a really good year, defensive back?
To your point, I believe that this affects football in the state of New Mexico. I'm talking for UNM New Mexico State more so than basketball.
Well, I mean,
New
Mexico
basketball,
State.
you have a better opportunity to maintain your quality of players. And if you're an all-conference football player for the Lobos or Aggies, you're in the portal.
Because you're going to go get paid. You just are. I mean, the Aggies are decimated. Vanderbilt took a bunch of their players. Where Jerry Kill went, where Beck went, their coaching staff went. I just think, I don't know. This is one of those where you just got to get used to it. And hopefully your coaching staff plays the portal well. Hopefully your collective is able to raise enough money that you've got NIL money at the level in which you're recruiting, that you can recruit and you can compete in your league. And that's what you're hoping for right now. I think, somebody asked, was it yesterday? What day is today? Tuesday. It had to be yesterday. When we had Ned on yesterday, Ned James was with us, the former Lobo quarterback, and we're talking about the spring game and how important is this year for Lobo football, the next 2 years. JJ, I think the portal is so important right now because there's going to probably be another round of adjustment, alignment, whatever we're calling it now, right? Because in 2 years, there's going to be the next school year, two school years after the current one, before the current cycle ends. Grant of rights, bowl cycles, TV cycles are somewhat set, although there's the 2 Pac-12 schools left. So I think we all believe there's going to be some sort of realignment, right? Whether it's shuffling. And we have a conversation about how big is this for Lobo football? Where do they land? And what's the perception of the schools who are, everybody's going to be in on the decision-making, but as schools band together, what do they want? And right, if Washington State and Oregon State bring in whoever, whether it's, you figure Boise State, San Diego State, Colorado State are all in. You love the UNLV market. People love Fresno State because it's a good football program. Air Force. Does New Mexico join that group or are they left out? And I think there's a real fear in Lobo land that are we in, right? From the conversations I had, I do believe New Mexico would be in that group if it forms, but I don't think anything's set in stone. And it would really hurt basketball, obviously, if you're left out. The Mountain West has become a good, respected basketball league. I think it's a good football league. What happens over the next 2 years? And that's what makes this. It goes back to the portal. How much is this staff and the collective going to be able to squeeze out of the portal and become competitive in the next year or two? Because you got a really, really, really big period coming up.
And here's the thing, and I know that they've already been working on it.
Of course.
And I'm not just talking about the football program, I'm talking about Eddie Nunez, the athletic department, is you have to show that UNM is established, and when it comes to basketball facilities, like it's going to be a worthy person. Because if this is all based on winning, the Lobos are not getting into that conference, and so it cannot be about winning football. It cannot be about
partially winning. About winning football.
There's always
a commitment to football.
Bottom of the conference.
Commitment to football,
and that's what I'm saying. Is they have to show overall athletics department they're committed. Because if the Lobos have to win 6 games the next 2 years to get in a conference, so they've got to show improvement and be competitive, don't you think? And I'll give you a step. All right, I'll give you a step, and it would have been I think another step when the second to last game of the year they beat Fresno State on the road, right? And if they'd have finished it off, remember they had the chance to beat Utah State. They were on the goal line. They didn't go for 2. All those things the last game of the year. Let me ask you this, and I don't know who the coach would be right now, but if they won that last game, they were 5-7, and they beat Fresno State on the road, who's considered kind of one of the bullies in this league. Don't you think that would have been a step in the right direction to start changing the conversation amongst the rest of the league when New Mexico's pretty good? It took a while when Rocky was here. And I've told you the story a million times, how I used to go and talk to these coaches when I just started the bowl game. And they all respected the program because they were hard to beat, they were physical, and damn it, they won games. They were going to bowl games. They were bowl eligible, 7-8 years in a row when Rocky was here, right?
They didn't go to bowls all those years, but they were bowl eligible. And I don't know. I'm not telling you have to win 6 games this year next year. But being competitive is a big deal. And that's like when you went on the road and beat Fresno State, that was like, whoa, what the hell happened? Or was that just an anomaly? Damn near beat Utah State. I would argue they should have won that game, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right, 505-246-0610. I'm going to get to a lot of the correspondence that you have been sending to us this morning after that Laker win. Or I'm sorry, the Laker win. I went to bed. The Nugget win over the Lakers last night. The crazy Knicks win over the Sixers. And Kenny Thomas is going to be with us. And we'll kick it with the former Lobo great coming up at 9 o'clock and go over what happened in the NBA last night. Holy smokes. 505-246-0610 is how you get here. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Just Laker fan and Sixer fan who are getting beat up this morning after blowing a lead. Carolina Hurricanes came back and shocked the Islanders in the Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Carolina scored the game-tying and game-winning goals 9 seconds apart in the third period. They were down 3-0. Islanders blew a 3-0 lead, and the Hurricanes went on to win that. They're up 2-0. JJ, the hate is on. A good buddy of ours, Sebastian Noel, posted who hits this wide open shot. He was talking about LeBron, wide open three. You know, not Michael Jordan. The people are piling on. Nah, he's not a GOAT. LeBron missed a wide open three that could have won the game. Well, I mean, a wide open three. Now, look, dude played well. LeBron James had 26 points and 12 rebounds last night. The Lakers were up by 20 and lose by 2. But the The LeBron haters are out, and then he goes afterwards and complains about the replay center as the reason they lost the game.
Kobe hits that shot. Michael hits that shot
every freaking time.
Yeah, that's what's out this morning. But that's also the level LeBron's at, and he understands that, and that's what's going to happen, and that's what people do enjoy, because you can go wake up, be right back at these guys, and I still don't know how the Nuggets won that game. I don't. Like, if the way Anthony Davis is playing LeBron James in the second half, and you can't get a victory when you have a 20-point lead in the third quarter, 10-point lead entering the fourth quarter, I don't know where the Lakers go now, because they played a great game up until the fourth quarter. D'Angelo Russell showed up, silenced his doubters from game one. Like, I would really be, my head would be spinning on that, playing back to Los Angeles, going, man, what do we have to do?
Well, like I said, I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with Kenny Thomas, JJ, because on that plane, what is the thought? Is your thought, holy bleep, what can we do to win a game? Which it says on the text line, right? I got a text that says, what do the Lakers have to do to win games? They're doing well and yet lose. Is it play and implement a defense? Or is it, damn, dude, we're as good, if not better than them. We shot ourselves in the foot because Austin Reeves, if Austin Reeves gets the rebound instead of Aaron Gordon, they win the game. If, you're looking at every one little play, if it goes the other way, if LeBron hits that shot, if Rui Hachimura hits a wide open shot, right?
But they should have the answers, because they went through the same exact thing last year. The Nuggets didn't blow them out 4 straight games.
No.
In the Western Conference Finals. So this is nothing new for the Lakers.
No, I agree with you. I mean, even in last year's sweep, they were 4 close games. I totally agree with you. But where are we now? It's 2-0, and Lakers went by 20 in the second half and can't win. Laker fan, where are you? Man, I know you're there. I mean, are you just hunched over and vomiting? 505-246-0610. Kenny Thomas scheduled to be with us next. We'll kick it with Kenny, the former Lobo great, and go through some of this stuff. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Well, it's mornings like this, and it's great to have a guy like this with us. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck, and coming off of the night in the NBA last night, 2 unbelievable games. And, oh, yeah, Cleveland did beat Orlando 96-86. But then the Knicks came back and scored 8 points in 27 seconds and came back to stun Philadelphia. And the Nuggets battled back from being down by 20 at home in the second half. They come back and beat the Lakers 101-99. 2 insane endings. And it's great to have former Lobo great, 11-year NBA veteran Kenny Thomas with us. What's up, Kenny Thomas? How you living?
What's up, my guys? How things going, man?
You all right?
I'm sitting up here chilling.
Which was a...
He's in the captain's chair today.
Yeah, look at
what that
you.
means. What that mean?
You like that chair?
No.
You getting used to it?
No.
You got to push the buttons.
Go ahead.
Which was the crazier ending? The Knicks game where they came back, or the end of the...
You already know. You know I got to say that. The Knicks game. That's disappointing, man. It's against my Sixers. You got the Kings knocked out by the Pelicans. And then this letdown right here. And then you go down 0-2. You got to go home. Obviously, you got to win both games. But come on, man. I really do feel like I was scared of the Knicks when me and JJ talked about that, because they're a very, very skilled team. And Bronson, the way he's playing right now, he reminds me of his father so much, because I played against his dad. But the way he's taking control of that squad right now, man, and making an all-star team and balling out, I need to shut up about the Knicks. But
no, you don't.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
All right, well, let me ask you this. The end of the game, and sometimes you'll always say, is it a comeback or is it a meltdown? And it's always a combination of both. But I'm looking at the Sixers, and Brunson hits the shot. It hits the front of the rim, drops in. They're down by 2. And I got Kyle Lowry, who's a veteran point guard. He's an NBA champion. He's 30-something years old. One thing that always bothers me is when guys don't know they can run the baseline to get the ball in, right? He kind of stands there, and they have a timeout. Explain to me why immediately you don't call a timeout and advance it to the front court.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good question. That's actually a really good question, Jeff, because obviously at the end of the game, you do get to advance the ball to half court, and why take the chance of something like that happen? I'm pretty sure. Was there a nicknurse
Yeah, no. Nick Nurse is over there trying to call a timeout, but kind of late, not right away. They absolutely had a timeout because they called one afterward. Well, they got Maxey the ball, but they had a timeout. Yes,
it's one of those. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jeff. Go ahead, bud.
No, and then even if you're not going to call it immediately, as you're having trouble getting the ball in, because there's a couple of things here. Then Maxey gets it, he gets double teamed. You can't turn it over. Yeah. And then you give up the offensive rebound to Hartenstein. I just, to me, as good as I want to give all the credit in the world to the Knicks, but that's one of those where, man, you lost that game more to me than they even won it.
Yeah, I was talking to my social media guy before coming on the show, and I was like, he was asking me, like, what do I have going on? Like, okay, the Kings are out. Okay, I was like, the Sixers. He's like, no. What just happened? That's bad. So we don't know if we're going to end up posting a little bit more about that. But you would think common sense is like, okay, the player that's taking the ball out would be the smartest one because he knows there's a timeout and you can run the baseline. That's just a real bad letdown. That those couple plays that happen is plays that you would think that a college player would do, right? Because here you are being a professional, you come out there, you get an opportunity to get paid to play the game of basketball. So what happened to common sense, right? But sometimes in those situations, people have a tendency to get tight, and obviously that's what happened. And then you got Orlando that's playing some good ball. They got beat pretty bad the first game. You got to give the Cavs the credit because the Cavs are playing really good basketball right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go on the road in Orlando and if that's going to change anything.
He's Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo great and 11-year NBA veteran, with us as we kick it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal.
So for Philadelphia right now, do you need Joel Embiid to just step up and kind of take just ownership of everything, the narrative, going into the next game and just putting it kind of just all on him? Because right now, everyone is looking for someone to blame in Philadelphia. And guess who's not there anymore? Doc Rivers. He was the scapegoat for everything the last few years.
Very well said.
Now, so what are you doing as that team, knowing you're that close, but you have to now respond down 2 games?
Joel is a big man, right? When I think of big men that are amazing, you got Joker, right? And then you think about Shaq coming out and setting a precedent. As far as like establishing, hey, this is my squad. Obviously, it's Joel Embiid's team, but he's going to have to come out and perform. But you got to keep in mind, there's those guys, Tobias Harrison. You got Maxey that's playing pretty good, except for what just happened the other night as far as the turnover situation. But I feel like that whole squad of the Sixers is going to have to show up. You even got to think Kyle Lowry has to come out and produce a little bit more. That's why they brought him in as a veteran to actually help support that. But the bench has been playing pretty good. The Sixers just got to come out and ball, man. Joel Embiid, obviously, if he holds up and he stays healthy, he's going to be a big part of everything. But it's going to be interesting to see how that whole series unfold, right? I mean, I really am scared of the Knicks because they're playing some great ball. And if the Sixers get swept, that would be insane. Philly would go crazy.
That's one too. When you look at these games, it's what we just talked about. It's being able to make a play in the moment, and for Philadelphia, they thought Nick Nurse, just a different voice in there. The addition of Kyle Lowry, which you've talked about since he joined Philadelphia, or is this one too maybe where you don't try to overthink it, going, hey, we were close, made a couple mistakes, we don't have to reinvent the wheel in 2 days?
Well, I would say yes and no. They have to adjust based off of what the Knicks have done to them on the offensive end and the defensive end. There's always adjustments that need to be made. It's going to be interesting to see how those adjustments are implemented. I'm looking forward to seeing that game, especially in Philly. But the Philly fans are going to be on the Sixers like you would not believe. So it's going to be one of those games to where obviously Game 3 is a must-win. Yeah. And Game 4 obviously is a must-win. But it's going to be interesting to see if the Sixers can get past Game 3 and 4 and go to New York and get a win. That's going to be hard. I don't see that happening right now, but you never know.
And I'm going to get into the insanity we saw in Denver last night. Lakers are up by 20. D'Angelo Russell's hitting threes from everywhere. Anthony Davis did everything he wanted to do. Got to his spot. He looked better than Jokic for, 2.5 quarters of that game. LeBron was terrific, throwing all that stuff up. And then here come the Nuggets. Yeah. And LeBron misses an open shot. I'll go back to a few things. I thought Aaron Gordon getting the offensive rebound away from Austin Reeves was big to keep that alive. Michael Porter hits a shot. LeBron has a wide wide open three with 10 seconds to go. It was a warm up, line three. He misses that, and then the shot by Murray. How do you come back from that? I was asking JJ, and I really wanted to ask you this. So on the plane back, if you're the Lakers, are you thinking, I don't know what we got to do to beat these guys? They beat us 10 in a row. Or is it, damn, we're as good as them? Maybe even more better. In your own mind, you probably think you're better. We're right there. We just got to make a play. Where are you? Are they done, or are they come back strong in LA?
Those are some good points, man. I saw something that was posted that AD said. He's like, I haven't gotten defensive player of the year in a while. Like, I'm not being respected.
Right.
Which is huge, because there is lack of respect, because there's been some games that AD has not showed up, and you can't have those games. It goes back to, like JJ was talking about, Joel Embiid. Like, you're that guy. Even though AD has LeBron, I feel like it's AD's team, and he should be the one that should be taking more of the load, opposed to LeBron. LeBron's older, right? And he's still coming out and he's doing his thing. But you can't be up 20 on the road and give that back. And I mean, it's expected that Denver's going to go on a run because they're playing at home and you got the crowd behind you. But obviously the Lakers have been there, but the squad that Denver has been there recently. And
they know how to win, man.
And they kept the core of their guys together, except getting rid of a couple pieces. Yeah, I totally agree with you, man.
They know how to win. LeBron's taken it today a lot. A, because he missed that open shot, and B, because he came out and his comments were about the replay center. That basically, we blew a 20-point lead because I don't know what's going on with the replay center, and I think it's a bad look.
Yeah.
I thought he played really well. I mean, the dude's 39 years old. He had 26 points and 12 rebounds. I thought the block at the rim on the Murray dunk was great. Yeah. The outlet pass was great. The finish where he was getting tackled, I thought he was terrific. He missed an open shot at the end. Dudes do that. Although I don't know if you read social media, Michael Jordan never missed that shot. Kobe never missed that shot, right? Yeah. But he's taken it. Do you think it's right?
Well, he's the guy that's supposed to take those shots.
Yep.
Even though I just said earlier, I feel like it's more of AD's team because of the age situation to a certain extent. But AD's been playing some great ball. And people get caught up in what happened at the end, opposed to certain things that happened during the course of the game. There's so many different things that people don't see from the standpoint of 50-50 balls. Who's taking care of the ball? How many turnovers does somebody have? Who's boxing out and actually doing what they're supposed to do and not allowing the offense to get rebounds, right? Offensive rebounds. But it's the NBA, and the huge factor about the NBA, you have to double guys, and then there's only 5 guys on the floor, and then you rotate and you allow somebody else to beat you. I think the Lakers side, Reeves, he's going to have to step up in an impactful way. I feel like the backcourt needs to do more outside of LeBron.
Well, D'Lo had a game, dude. I mean, D'Angelo Russell had 23 last night.
See, and those are the things that need to happen on a consistent basis. If he doesn't have that, it needs to have about 10, 15, right? It needs to be more spread out to where you're taking a little bit of pressure off of LeBron. I'm pretty sure that's what LeBron wants. And I know AD wants some of the pressure off of him. So I just feel like the surrounding cast around the Lakers need to show up a little bit more and do more.
It's like it's like they answered all those questions. They're up 20 and then they still couldn't even get it done. And so that's where you're looking at it. To your point though, you look at Hachimura only had 3 points. Reeves 9 points, Taurean Prince 6 points, and when you have 3 dudes that are going off, it can be a struggle to find those other supporting players. But who didn't go off was Jamal Murray.
Yeah,
like he was bad for 3 quarters. But that's the difference. Is like your stars can be bad, but they're gonna get the opportunity to shoot out of that slump. 14 fourth quarter points. What do you make of Jamal Murray? That crew, and Jamal Murray said it post game. He said, there was a point in that game where he went to in the huddle and was like, "Hey, I'm going to get you guys shots," and they're like, "No, you have to keep shooting."
Yeah, that's a key point because he is that guy. He has to keep shooting, but it's taking good shots in right moments. If you don't have a good shot, that's that's the sacrifice of being the go-to guy to where you get to make that decision, right? It goes back to LeBron taking that shot. He's the guy. But when you have Murray, a guy that's been there, and the guy that has a great supporting cast outside of Joker, you got Porter Jr. that's playing some great ball. You got Gordon that's playing some good ball. But do you guys really think that I got a question for you guys. You guys think it's from the standpoint of a coaching situation and experience? You got to think about Darvin Ham's my guy, but this is a whole different experience when it comes to the postseason.
You know, it's so interesting with that, because what would you have suggested Darvin Ham do differently there, right? JJ really mentioned this when AD went out with his fourth foul. He came back and was a different dude. Now I'll give Michael Malone credit on one. You know, here's a coaching piece. A lot of coaches would have called timeout when LeBron missed that shot. They got the offensive rebound with 11 seconds to go. A lot of coaches would have called timeout. Michael Malone got waved off by Jokic, let his team play in the flow. A good coaching move. You know why it was good? Because he hit the shot, right? If he didn't, they'd say, why didn't he call a timeout? But what do you want Darvin Ham to do? He did something right, because coaches are really good when guys are hitting shots, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it could come down to rotations. I felt like there could have been some different changes when it came to matchups for the Lakers on the defensive end. Obviously, the starting five are going to get the majority of the minutes and the majority of the shots, unless somebody's coming off the bench that's being very productive. I felt like there isn't a point to where you see, like, AD could go without the ball for a while, right? And he shouldn't go without the ball for a while. And certain things like that should not happen. And then all the load is on LeBron to be able to come out and produce and be the guy that everybody knows that he can be, right? But they're playing against a veteran Denver team that has been right in the mix for the last few years. So they've been there. It's Denver's time. Obviously, I got Denver winning that series. But
all right, yeah. we better take this break because we're late on it. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. We're going to continue this. I want Kenny's thoughts, JT Toppin, testing the NBA waters as well. And we'll continue our conversation. Kicking it with Kenny. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend. Travis!
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds.
Google Play or iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
Continuing here with Kenny Thomas, opening drive, Jeff Sabieta and J.J. Buck coming off a crazy night in the NBA last night. Two unbelievable finishes. Knicks score 8 points in the last 27 seconds to come back at Madison Square Garden to beat the 76ers 104-101, and the Nuggets rally from 20 down in the second half, get Jamal Murray's buzzer beater. By the way, they win 101-99. Kenny, I'm not going to tell you this is one of the greatest shots ever, but, I mean, if you're a Denver Nuggets fan, how would you don't have to rate him, but is that one of those shots, the Jamal Murray shot, that you're going to remember the rest of your life, right?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And thing about it is, if this was regular season, it wouldn't matter like that. It's postseason, so all the different things that's going on, yeah, it was a huge shot, and I'm not even surprised, especially with all the adversity he's been through, being hurt, being out a whole year, and now he gets another opportunity, right?
He's something else, and big-time players make big-time shots. All right, I want to go to a couple other games. Phoenix is down 1-0 at Minnesota. I think people are starting to realize how good Anthony
Told you,
Edwards
Ant-Man.
is. No,
Told you.
but this is the time of year people, I kind of heard about it, but now people, who were peripheral watchers of the NBA start to realize these stars. And, they're going to Oklahoma City's got a couple of guys that are going to be like that people are going to realize. Anthony Edwards, this could be his coming out party the next few months.
Man, coming out party. I mean, I got to give JJ props. Unfortunately, he talked about the Ant-Man like that. I love him, but I just don't see Booker, Bradley Beal, and KD losing in a 7-game series to Minnesota. I just don't see it. It's going to be.
I've seen KD lose a lot of 7-game series with Steph Curry.
But KD got how many rings with the Warriors? Yeah.
2.
Steph Curry's not. Bradley Beal ain't no Steph Curry.
No, he's not. I totally. Come on, man. You can't compare them two. Are you kidding me? There's only one Steph, right? But yeah, great point, because playing with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green during that time, it took a lot of pressure off KD. But it seemed like KD was the guy to go to because you couldn't help, right? And Steph and those guys got theirs. I have to agree. It's a little bit different dynamic. KD is probably second to Booker right now. And I feel like if Bradley Beal doesn't show up and play, you're totally right. Minnesota's probably going to beat him in like 6 games probably.
Giannis out and Milwaukee wins. And Dame was terrific. 35 and a half. 35 points and a half.
It's insane. Man, you could see, you could tell every time down the court, like you saw the other team trying to deny him the ball, but you can tell like he was not going to not go get that ball. And then obviously, hey, let's get Dame the ball. It was Dame time, and that's what he's always done in Portland. And with Giannis, it's going to be an interesting series because I would try and double Dame and get the ball out of his hands. But you got some guys like Chris Middleton, and you got Lopez that can play. But it's kind of like that squad, like the Lakers, right? You kind of rely on Dame, and then where the other guys are going to fit in.
I want to run this by you. I mentioned this to JJ yesterday, and I believe that experience matters, right? Not that the Lakers aren't experienced. They played a team last night. Denver knows how to win. Champions know how to win. And I said Indiana looked like a young team playing in their first playoff game against Milwaukee the other day, even with Giannis out. Now, that doesn't mean they can't make this a series. It doesn't even mean they can't come back and win this series. How much is there to you? Like, you played the playoffs.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at teams that win. You know, Boston's been there. It looks like they're going to roll through. Typically, there's a trajectory. There's always an outlier to the trend. But I don't know. What did Indiana look like to you? They're a nice team. Hell, they were runners up in the in-season tournament, for crying out whatever. But they looked to me like a young team, a good team that just. I mean, what did they score? 30? JJ, were they the team that scored? No, it was Dallas scored 30 in the first half.
They were pretty close.
Yeah.
Indiana's been playing great. I actually had them maybe possibly at an upset, but the way Indiana looked the first game, it's like they were going one-on-one, playing typical ball like you're in the regular season. That just can't happen because the postseason is just a different dynamic.
Explain the difference. So for someone sitting there going, man, it's basketball. I'm watching every day. Explain that.
See, but you got an 82-game season, and if you're a better team to a certain extent, you're coasting. You're supposed to win certain games, and sometimes you get blown out. When you get into the postseason, the way that it's broken down from the referees to the players, the referees are going to get more tighter. It's going to get more physical. The NBA is very physical, especially playing in the paint where I was the majority of the time. But then there comes a time to where the bench is even going to get shorter. Because I feel like obviously the starters are going to get the majority of the minutes, and it's going to be based off of foul trouble and how things are going. But I don't, it's going to come down to like 7 or 8 guys. It's going to get real tight. So, but those other 3 guys that's coming off the bench, and the bench needs to stay ready because you never know when you're going to get an opportunity. That's the hardest part because you have to be mentally prepared, especially when you get an opportunity.
Yeah, there's certain things to, like with Oklahoma City, it's going to be put to the test.
Yeah.
Being the number 1 seed, but not being there, what's experience going to mean for them when they get in? And that was only a 2-point game. Game 1 against New Orleans. But I think it is fascinating because you go in, and I was right there with you when we were talking on Friday. I love the Pacers in this, but then I think with Giannis out, you forget that Brook Lopez is the champion, Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis, like those guys have won. And I think the funniest thing I saw was someone said Dame just forgot to change the time on his watch. He still had it West Coast time, and they changed it, and he showed up 35 points in the first half. I do want to touch on, because I was surprised how good the Clippers look.
Yeah.
And this postseason, it's you look at that Clippers team, it's like everyone has a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, they looked really good against the Dallas team that was on fire.
I was very surprised that game went the way it did, but sometimes that happens. Obviously, Dallas gets another chance to play at home. But if Dallas loses this game, it's going to be a whole different series. But Dallas is a squad that can come out and smack them just as bad as they did that game, because they have some weapons on the Dallas side. But the way that Paul George and the way that they share the ball, I didn't think Harden was going to play that way. I think he played smart and great basketball. It's the same way he's been playing. Hopefully he can stay in that zone. If they do, then the Clippers are probably going to come out on top.
All right, what are you watching for tonight?
What's the games tonight? What we got?
I got the Bucks and Pacers tonight. I got Phoenix and Minnesota and Dallas and the Clippers.
So the Bucks are probably going to win that. Minnesota, right? I got Phoenix in that game. And then the last one, what was the last one?
So the Mavs are 2.5-point favorites at LA tonight.
Is that right?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I'm going Clippers. Clippers on that one. Hey, man, I got to address this. Hey,
Yeah.
JT Toppin jumped in the...
Yeah, I want to hit that too.
Yeah, JT Toppin jumped in there, right? And how do you guys feel about that? I mean, it's nice for these kids to be able to jump in and see what happens, right? But when I was playing, we never got the opportunity to get any evaluation from any scouts. So I like that. Hopefully he makes the right decision. I feel like he needs to come back. If you come back, depending on the draft class and everything, I don't know where he would go, but this year. But yeah, I hope he comes back.
Well, I want people to understand that we're losing their minds about this. This is commonplace now, man. I mean, Vance Jackson did it. Jalen House did it. Don't lose your mind. He may go to the NBA, and if he does, you go, all right, good luck, and we're watching you. And probably odds are, Kenny, I think he's coming back for at least another year. He's not in the portal. And so good on you, young man. Go find your place and see where you belong.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. If he can't hurt you, you still get a chance to come back. Good for you. See, I could have left after my freshman year, but I wasn't ready. I still had body fat on me. I just wasn't ready from a mental perspective, and I'm happy I stayed in school all 4 years. But obviously, these kids are going to go and do what's best for them. But what was best for me to stay in school, that's why I was able to get all the records that I got.
And there's a bunch of them. All right, man, we'll catch up with you on Friday. I might be sitting in that chair. I might not. Who the heck knows? But it's always good. This was great stuff, man. The playoffs really hit their stride yesterday. This was good stuff. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, man. I got one announcement, though. KT Legacy Wines, 12,000. It's 12201 Academy. The Albertsons up there. June 3rd from 4 to 6, I will be doing an appearance at that Albertsons location. So come out, check it out. I'll be signing stuff. We can take pictures. I'll be there for a couple hours.
All right. Good luck with that. Go take a picture with Kenny. He's tall. All right. When we come back, we'll get back to you and hit some of the big stuff. There's some NFL stuff that's hitting today. And I want your thoughts. Nuggets come back and beat the Lakers 101-99. It's the opening drive. Jeff JJ on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, It's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE.
Well, Kenny's always got a lot to say, and it's good stuff. And boy, what a weekend we're looking at, and what a night last night in the NBA. I mean, just silly stuff, JJ. I look at it, and it was pretty amazing. The two games come down to that, but I guess when you're putting out the quantity that they are, you should get a couple of good games like that, huh?
It's the playoffs. So many games with that pressure, that energy, it's going to be all over the place. Some of the games this weekend weren't great. Then you're going to have your great games night in and night out. Each game is going to have its specific storyline, and I think it was fascinating watching last night how both games swung so dramatically. For the Knicks and 76ers, you expect that to be tight the entire way through. Who can handle clutch time? It's been the New York Knicks for 2 games. And then the Lakers, like when you got a game at Anthony Davis, like as good as Jokic is, like Davis looked like the best player on the floor for 30 minutes. Like Anthony Davis can impact the game more on the defensive end than Nikola Jokic can. He can be just as good offensively as Nikola Jokic. Now, Jokic can orchestrate a game unlike any big man in the NBA with his passing ability. But then you get LeBron James rising to the occasion in the second half, which he didn't do in game 1. You got D'Angelo Russell showing up in a big way. So it's easy after the fact to take a step back and go, well, they need more from everyone else. Well, they got enough. They got enough to get a 20-point lead in Denver in the third quarter, to lead by 10 in the fourth quarter, and they still lost that game. So to me, it's more so about AD defensively. Jokic cooked him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but he cooked Jokic all night long, right?
Yeah. But in clutch time, he didn't.
I know.
He didn't. And that was the difference. Is Jokic cooked him in the post, and that's when Anthony Davis had to assert his ability. And it was not there in the fourth quarter when the Lakers, it wasn't about the three-point shooting at that point in time. They needed to play defense, and they couldn't.
What do you make of what Kenny asked about the coaching? And you got a veteran coach and Darvin Ham, and I ask, what would you have asked that Darvin Ham did differently? Right?
There's nothing. Honestly, if you look at it, both teams
I think I agree.
did the Kenny Thomas special. In the fourth quarter, they ran pick and roll. There's no fluff. There's no extra actions. It was LeBron James, Jamal Murray had the basketball. Anthony Davis, Joker come up, set a pick. There you go.
I think I agree with you. This was Darvin Ham. If the Lakers lose in the series, and I believe they will, is Darvin Ham going to be the scapegoat on this? And I look at it, I'm like, what did you want Darvin Ham to do differently? Was it his to his? Give me the opposite of blame. Was it his great coaching that got him up by 20? Or was it more that they were making plays, that Anthony Davis was dominating, that LeBron made plays, that D'Lo made shots, any more than it was his fault that they got beat? And I tell you all the time, I think coaches get too much blame and too much credit. And, what did Michael Malone do? Michael Malone for Denver let them play at the end of the game. Now, he knows his team. He trusted his team. Now, they were tied. They went in a situation, and is it his credit that Jamal Murray walked the ball up the court, and you had the Nuggets announcers going screaming, "You got to go! You got to go! You got to right?" Was that all Michael Malone?
Ridiculous shot over
Right.
Anthony Davis. No,
Well, great coaching. Great coaching.
There was no X's and O's in that. That was all the Jimmies and the Joes in that situation. And if you're the Lakers, you need those guys to step up. And to me, it was the defense in the fourth quarter. It was, Anthony Davis letting Jokic get down there. And you got to remember, Jokic is that dude. But if you're looking for two greats going at it, who's going to have the moment late in the game? And it's been Nikola Jokic. And Anthony Davis needed to be able to block his shot, defend on one of those post moves. And Jokic cooked him. And then the team realizing, hey, the way it was going for everyone that night, you just got to let Jamal Murray keep going. As frustrating as it was, I was one of those people going, man, stop shooting. There's a point where I'm like, KCP, Jamal Murray, don't take a shot. Just give it to someone else. But then you had KCP, his dunk off a ridiculous pass from Nikola Jokic in the second half, sent energy into that entire team and building. And then 14 fourth quarter points from Jamal Murray, man. There's different dudes that can shoot through everything, and he's one of those guys.
Got a text, 505-246-0610. As a Laker fan, I'm terribly bummed, but still hopeful as the next two games are home games. They are. That's where I'm wondering, does Laker fan walk away from that and just go, well, that sucked, but we were better than them for, I don't know, at least three quarters of the game. And that's where I'm looking at it. This is my brother. My brother's a big Laker fan. I told you about this the other day, where he came in and he told me that, he felt that if the Lakers won game one, the series was over. And I'm like, dude, you're out of your mind. But that's where Laker fan is. They know they're good. Like the Nuggets, whilst Denver has beaten them 10 in a row, your point is so right. JJ, they haven't been dominating, but yet they've been winning. And I don't know if the Lakers break through and all of a sudden they break through the ceiling and go, see, we can. But I know in their mind, I know in their hearts, the Lakers believe they're better than Denver. Don't you think LeBron's sitting there, wherever he's sitting right now, getting his feet rubbed, that he believes that they're better than Denver? Don't you think Anthony Davis believes he's better than Nikola Jokic and his team is better than Denver?
Yeah, and I don't think it's crazy for a professional athlete to have that belief.
No, I agree.
In the moment, especially those guys, because as much as we sit here and say, no, the Nuggets, they're champions, they know what to do. Did the Lakers team not win a championship? Did Anthony Davis not LeBron James not win one together? Multiple championships.
Yeah, those two.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
So I think if you're LA, you honestly, some of it too is you just say, hey, fourth quarter break, we'll get one at home. Because LeBron James, that wasn't a bad shot at the end. He just missed it after hitting two earlier daggers, which obviously weren't daggers. I mean, the two big 3-point shots, in a close game. And I think, I asked this, to Kenny, and I think the Lakers and 76ers are in the same spot a little bit right now is don't reinvent the wheel. Don't overcorrect in this moment.
I think that's all right. I mean, as much as one team has dominated the result, they haven't dominated the opponent. Now, you could say they have because they've won 10 in a row, but the results have been really, really close. Now, you win every one of them. And I wonder, and I got to believe Laker fan, like the one who just sent me that text, thinks, okay, break through one time, and we're going to get there. This one says, I remember watching an interview with Isaiah Thomas some years ago when the question came up about winning championships, and his words were, it always comes down to, all right, we need to stop right here. He's not wrong. Like, the Lakers needed to stop. And by the way, if I'd have told you, you got Jamal Murray falling out of bounds trying to shoot over 7'1" Anthony Davis, throwing one up from out of the corner, you're kind of taking your chances that you're going overtime on that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just an insane shot by Murray. All right, we'll wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go through your Tuesday. Still time for your calls at 505-246-0610. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like me, sure that you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
For 18 years, IPS has offered standing guards or 24-hour patrols to protect homes and businesses in Albuquerque. Recently, they launched service in Santa Fe, but now IPS Global Aviation is using a fleet of drones and high-definition cameras and analytics software to exceed your security expectations. So with the drones, IPS can monitor your next event or track emergency response. They can follow criminal activity that you can't see as well from the ground, and the drones include thermal imaging, so IPS can help with eyes in the sky during wildfire season. It's unmatched ability to watch from the air. On the ground, IPS continues to use highly trained armed officers to watch homes and businesses. They install cameras, monitor them around the clock to deter criminal activity. So if you've got a safety issue, IPS has you covered. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com. All right, everybody be talking about the Lakers Nuggets game. Nuggets were up 101-99, or won 101-99 after the Lakers blew a 20-point lead. In New York, the Knicks scored 8 points in 27 seconds. It came back and beat the Sixers 104-101. They'll be talking about the new quarterback in Denver. The Broncos traded for Zach Wilson, a sixth-round pick for the former number 2 overall draft pick. And J.T. Toppin, the Lobo Freshman of the Year in the Mountain West, is declared for the NBA draft, although he can still come back to college. He's keeping his eligibility. J.J., Edwards sent me this. This is a graphic that will explain what we were just talking about. I just got this from text. We were talking about how the Lakers in Nuggets series, the Lakers have dominated the results but not dominated the games. And while Denver has won 10 in a row, this is going back to last year's 4-game sweep and then the 2 games this year. So the last 6 playoff games. JJ, Lakers in game 1 last year, their largest lead was 2, so that doesn't tell you much. They were up by 11 in game 2 last year, up by 15 in game 4 last year, up by game 12 in game 1 this year, up by 20 last night, and they lost all those games. It's insane. When you look at, they had 20-point, 15-point, 12 and 11-point leads, and they lost all of those games.
It doesn't make sense. Like, there's not a lot to look at other than your superstar players have to make a play in the fourth quarter. That's what it comes down to for the Lakers. They've done everything else. D'Angelo Russell responded. They got the leads. You have to make the plays in the fourth quarter. Whether it's Anthony Davis finding a way to come up defensively, one stop on Jokic, anything along those lines. That's where we're at, because you don't need to change anything schematically, dramatically for the Lakers in this matchup. It's clutch plays. And this we can copy and paste that same thing when talking about the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, and the Sixers, I mean, the Sixers to me was just, how does that happen at the end of a game with a professional team filled with veterans, and in this case, guys who won a championship, throwing the ball away, just not getting it out of the back court, not being able to inbound the ball. You have a timeout. You can advance it to the front court with a time. Like, what are we doing? To me, that was even a bigger collapse of the Lakers. It just was to me. Joel Embiid, after the game, said, "We're a better team and we are going to win this series." Do you believe him?
No.
I don't know that I do either.
I wouldn't say anything else if I was Joel Embiid.
Well, sure. And he said it's unacceptable, it can't happen, and all that stuff. And it's hard for me to put it on him. Now, they needed to get a rebound. They did need to get a rebound there. But I look at that team. I mean, Joel Embiid playing on a knee that, I mean, he's just limping up and down the floor, and went out and got 34 points and 10 rebounds. It's hard for me to sit here and put it on him. But give it to the Knicks. And I don't want to downplay what the Knicks did. Dante DiVincenzo with that dagger on his second shot. Isaiah Hartenstein getting that rebound and then the block. How about the dirty work? Like, so Hartenstein's not going to show up with all the points. How about what that dude did in the last 7 seconds? Getting the offensive rebound. They got the ball out. It was a hockey assist to get it to DiVincenzo for the ultimate winner. And then tracking down Maxey on the other side and blocking the shot as Maxey goes to the rim to try to win it for Philadelphia. How about that?
It's what the Knicks have been able to do with Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein inside, just piecing them together, because you're not stopping Joel Embiid, but it's the moments. And Hartenstein had the moments coming up with the rebound, the defensive plays inside. That's what you're looking for. That's the difference in crunch time. It's not about what can this coach, that coach can do better. Can you make a play? And the Knicks believe they can make those plays. And right now they're going to go into the rest of that series with the 76ers, just like the Nuggets now. Nuggets go, hey, we're never out of it. We can be down 20. Who cares? If we put this team on their heels, we don't think they can execute. And that's the way the Knicks feel.
Yep. All right. Good stuff. You get more of it tonight. You get that. By the way, we barely even talked about the hockey last night, which fair enough. But Colorado's got a big game at Winnipeg tonight. The Jets are playing so well. And we're getting goals in the NHL in the Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Kings got beat. I think they gave up 7 last night in Edmonton. But you get 4 of them tonight. Washington and the Rangers, Tampa Bay and Florida, Colorado, Winnipeg, and Nashville, Vancouver tonight. And 3 NBA games. Phoenix, Minnesota will be your early one. Then you get Indiana, Milwaukee, and then Dallas and the Clippers. Is a road team going to finally win one tonight?
Yes.
Which one?
I'll go Dallas.
You got Dallas? You like the favorite there? I think Phoenix wins in Minnesota tonight. I know you like Minnesota to win the series. Minnesota in how many?
6.
Okay. Thanks to Kenny Thomas for being with us today. Kicking it with Kenny. Tomorrow will be fun again. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. You get Isotopes Baseball against the Oklahoma City Baseball Club. And then we are back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at JJ 7 a.m. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Yeah, I know. Enjoy it. Adrian, great work on the visuals. I know you fought through some battles today. Be good to each other, boys and girls. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro Beer. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.